I'll keep this intro short. I learned a few things from my third-degree commentary, such as that, and that when a game is generally hated, there is someone willing to defend it, and vice versa. I'm going to do both of those right now. The game, Shadow the Hedgehog. It's my favorite Sonic game. It's pretty much Sonic Adventure 2 Battle with only the action stages. If you hate it, I can respect your opinion if it makes sense. But if you go around spreading lies about a video game, then that's just wrong. I mean, just think what I could have done with my Metroid review. In Metroid, you play as a robot named Metroid who is trying to collect as many items as it can. Yeah, that doesn't work. So this guy, CGS01, a guy that I found out through a friend, decided to do a review of Shadow the Hedgehog. And he seems to hate it with every fiber of his being. I'm going to argue his points with logic, so that even if you haven't played the game, it should still make sense to you. Now let's begin.
A word of warning. If you like this game, if you have fun with this game, and if you can't take the opinions of someone else, the back button still works, and I highly recommend you use it. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to pay attention to the hate comment you send me.
I'm just gonna say this right now. The only people that watch reviews of video games unless they're really bored are those who haven't played it and are willing to listen to anything someone else says about the game. The fact that he told me to leave gave me the idea that he isn't so confident in his answers himself. Should I watch or leave?
Now that I've said that, you have a good idea of where I'm going with this.
Remember in my third-degree commentary when the audio would fade in and out because media converters sucked? That's happening again. I've tried doing a bunch of other methods, but it never worked. This was the only thing that got me a video at all. However, I refuse to let it stop me from making my commentary on this video. If it's part of an argument that I plan to counter, then I will clarify. Don't worry.
Who has amnesia from the events of Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2. However, when Sonic Battle came out during Sonic Heroes, none of the stuff that happened in Shadow the Hedgehog ever came up, so I'm hoping that means that this game never went canon.
So because Sonic Battle came out before Shadow the Hedgehog means that this game must not be canon. Haven't you heard of the term chronological order, like prequels and sequels?
And if it did, I'd like to shoot it out of one.
We're not a minute into this video, and you've already insulted the game twice. I mean, I insult Metroid a lot, but at least I say why it's a bad game first.
After Shadow's flashback, the Earth gets invaded by the Black Arms aliens, and the leader wants Shadow to find the Chaos Emeralds for him because he was promised to find them for him about 50 years ago or something. You know, around Shadow's creation. So, that opens up the big mystery. No other ideas except to go ask the people who know about him to ask about his past.
How much did the others in the cast of Sonic Adventure 2 learn about Shadow's past? I mean, Eggman's a compulsive liar, so we'll scratch him out. However, people like Sonic barely know anything about him. Just that there was some girl named Maria that got killed by the gun soldiers. And he already knew that. Didn't you remember the flashback?
Decides to follow his advice and find the 7 Chaos Emeralds.
Like I said before, the people who are watching this video have never played it, so you have to cater to your audience and try not to spoil instead of saying, whoops, spoilers, sorry.
Shadow has the same abilities as Sonic. He's able to run really fast and perform homing attacks and spin dashes. However, Shadow can now punch, use Chaos Control, Chaos Blast, and for some reason, use vehicles and weapons, which don't fit the character of Shadow at all. Yeah, I know he'll use any means to get to his goals, but it seems a little redundant with retarded. You idiot!
Shadow was a relatively new character when this game came out, so how do you know if that ever fit his character? Besides, it adds a layer of identity to Shadow so that he's more different from Sonic.
Okay, I'm already being negative about this game, and I haven't even talked about any of the good things in it. There are good things in this game?
To be honest, all I've heard so far is game sucks, plot summary, game sucks, plot summary, guns are bad, and game sucks. So you've been negative since the beginning.
Well, yes. I can name a couple of things that they did right. First, the CGI looks good. The music's kinda good.
I thought the in-game graphics were actually pretty good. It's colorful, and it follows the character design of Sonic Heroes.
I guess. They've put in a lot of levels, and they're pretty big. The rail grinding was fixed, so now you can switch between rails much easier than you could in Sonic Heroes. However, while fixing these little problems while ruining everything else, it's kinda like going to your doctor and having him say, "We were able to save your toe, but we had to cut your foot off to do it. In the end, what good did you really accomplish?"
You really don't think it played that much like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? I swore it did.
There are 3 different missions per level. Well, for most of them. You can either be a good guy, a bad guy, or just do things your own way. Being the good guy, you have to perform certain objectives, such as taking out all the aliens or protecting a city. If you're with a good guy, you'll get teamed up with a Sonic character. If you're neutral, you just go to the goal point and just forget about everything else. And if you choose the dark side, you'll get teamed up with a useless enemy and perform certain objectives. No matter what team you choose to follow, everybody on every side wants to kill you. Doesn't matter if you're good, the good guys will kill you. If you're bad, the bad guys will kill you. I'm sorry, that makes no sense whatsoever!
That's what I thought at first, but then I realized that it makes perfect sense. It's for gameplay purposes and for story purposes. In the story, Black Doom attacks you because you admitted to him that you have no idea who the hell he is. Gun wants Shadow dead because the general still has a grudge with Shadow from 50 years ago and wants revenge no matter how much Shadow seems to have changed. With the exception of one ending, of course. Eggman wants you dead because you attacked him in Sonic Heroes. Another reason is because in the game you can switch between choosing to go through the Dark mission or the Hero mission at will. Think about Gun Fortress, where there's almost no black arms and a bunch of human enemies. If you kept Rouge with you, you would be able to pass through the level easy because no one would be attacking you. In levels with even amounts of enemies per group, you could just switch between the 2 teams at any time so that they don't attack you. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm evil. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm evil. You can't attack me. I'm on your side. Whoops, sorry, not anymore.
And no matter what side you choose and what side you end with, you can always somehow just go back to the other guys and they never care. If anybody saw the Painfully Suffering Doom Shadow show, you know what I'm talking about.
Shadow, come to my lair now.
Hey, didn't you fire me twice for being a traitor?
I don't remember that. Now go!
Everyone sees you as a villain anyway. That's why they don't care. They can't trust Shadow. Therefore, they are quite apathetic when Shadow joins their side for a little bit. Besides, if we had it your way, there would only be 3 story routes, being pure dark, being pure hero, and being pure neutral. It's Sonic Adventure 2 all over again, with one more route.
Oh, is that the worst part? No. There are tons of little bad parts that equal into one big, steaming, crappy game. And let's go over the rest of them, shall we? The controls. For some reason, Shadow always feels like he's on ice. I know it's because he has those hover shoes and all, but he didn't even control like this in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which was probably the best game he was ever in.
The controls just take a little bit of time to get used to, just like every single Sonic game. I can imagine you trying to ride a bicycle and then falling over once and then just giving up.
Smash Brothers doesn't count. It was just an assist trophy. Not to mention that the homing attack can usually fail you in a tight spot. See, it doesn't know that I wanted to attack this guy, and yet it killed me.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but homing attack doesn't work straight up and straight down. Plus, if you were holding forward when you did that jump dash, which I know you did, because you moved forward, then it would have moved forward anyway, because you can change which enemy you home onto if there is one by using the control stick. I doubt that homing attack would make you land on that enemy if you were holding forward, even if it did allow you to go straight down.
And then there's the camera, which for some reason never wants to truly follow Shadow. If you make a turn, the only way it can really get the camera to focus on you is to jump, and hopefully it'll turn around and follow you. Because hopefully that will give it enough time to adjust.
There's a control stick that changes the direction of the camera. It's called the C-stick. Just a few quick taps and you can see again. It's quick enough to barely affect the game.
You can't just run, turn a corner, and keep running because you're going to run into something. And then there's one thing that's really got under my skin. For some reason, whenever you get hit or die, Shadow will usually say, "Damn it."
Damn it.
And it's going to happen a lot because you seem to get hit every single 5 seconds because you usually can't see where you're going.
I must not make a snakes on a plane reference. I must not make a snakes on a plane reference. I must not make a snakes on a plane reference.
Or the controls just don't respond that well. Look, it's not that I'm all against cursing and all that. I'm just saying, keep it where it's necessary.
You just got shot by a bullet or you're falling off a cliff. What would you say? Dear me, it appears I am about to die.
This game, it's not necessary. What if Mario was starting to swear?
The best equivalent to Shadow in a Mario game is Shadow Mario. So the better question is, what if Shadow Mario started swearing?
Look, it's funny for parody, horrible when it actually turns into the real thing. And the guns and vehicles, come on, do I really need to say it? The guns are pointless, and the vehicles are completely useless.
Although I'll admit that most of the vehicles in this game weren't that great, I will say that the guns were actually a good idea, because then you didn't have to go up to an enemy and kill it. You can just shoot it and keep on moving.
You may have noticed that I'm using the same level over and over again.
That's not the smartest idea for a review when you're trying to explain the entire game to somebody.
Well, I have a small confession to make. I was excited to get Shadow the Hedgehog, really excited. I brought it home, played it for about an hour, became absolutely disgusted with it, and begged my local game crazy to let me exchange it for anything else. I got Battalion Wars, a game where guns and vehicles was fun and made sense. You know, the complete opposite experience I had with Shadow the Hedgehog. Feeling that I gave up too easy on the game, I went back, rented it, and played all the way through every single ending just to find out if there were any good parts of it I may have missed. I didn't miss anything but the $5 I used to rent this game.
Does that count as a nostalgia trip? Either way, that wasn't necessary to put in the video. To further my point, what does that have to do with only recording one level again?
For anybody who's willing to defend this game, I have a challenge for you. First, play through about 5 levels, running straight through the level. No jumping over obstacles. If you can side dodge, do that. Good luck, as there's no side dodge, and it's really hard to control him when he's going that fast.
How do I put this delicately? That's the least intelligent 18 seconds of this entire review. First off, the smaller part of it. You can't side dodge. Hold R in the GameCube version, and move left or right, and then press A. Second, you're asking me to play a platforming action game without jumping. I dare you to beat Metroid without jumping because it sucks. Seriously, name one platforming video game where you don't have to jump. Now, without stopping, that would mean that the game would have to be completely linear in order to do that. Didn't people hate Sonic Rush because they said you just had to hold forward and press boost? So yes, it's good that we have to stop, otherwise we would just be able to hold the control stick forward and win.
Second, when you have to make a turn, don't jump. Keep running. See how far that gets you.
C-stick, motherfucker, do you use it? Oh, come on, you set me up for that. Plus, the turns that you showed while you were complaining about the camera were pretty easy to make, regardless if you turned the camera or not.
Does it play like a Sonic game? Not quite.
You mean playing without jumping to change the camera? Probably not, because you're forcing me to do it. If you mean the game in general, however, maybe they wanted to change it enough so it didn't feel like a rehash of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
It felt like Sega was trying to come up with a different idea. They said, this isn't working, why don't we put the Sonic characters on there, and I bet it'll sell millions.
That's it! It's brilliant!
Closing point, there's nothing I can say is worth buying this game for. Nothing. Okay? If you like the music, you can probably find the music somewhere on YouTube. Before I give up the score, let me just say this. No critic ever has the right to tell someone what they can and cannot like. Never. And they're not allowed to insult them for whatever they like, no matter how bad it is. So to those of you who like it and understand why other people don't like it, you guys are probably the most intelligent ones out there. And for that, you have my respect. For everybody else who thinks that if somebody doesn't agree with them and is deeply offended by other opinions, you're going to have a hard time growing up.
Oh yes, the "it's my opinion, I can say whatever I want" argument. You've barely talked about the game, and you used about as much time to review it as to rant on it. I know I could write a longer review, even if I did hate the game.
A 1 out of 5. Avoid like the plague.
Damn you! No! It's not true!
You said that you would spoil the game, but you really didn't. So that's the end of my commentary. If there was one thing I had to compliment you on, though, it's the quality of your microphone. What's it called? And where'd you get it? Everything else? It wasn't structured like a review. You went off topic occasionally, and you spent as much time ranting about it as reviewing it. And you know what the worst part is? This review completely mauled my trust in your reviewing. Now I'll never be able to watch one of your reviews without wondering if it makes sense or not. An interesting thought is that your review was actually pretty good in comparison to some of the other reviews of this game on YouTube.